that was Study in F number 7 of the 30 Easy and Progressive Studies for the Flute by Giuseppe Gariboldi. This is the A2 piece of the ABRSM Grade 3 Flute exam pieces from 2022. Having a look at the start of the piece, we can see that we're in 3/8 time, so we have 3 quavers in a bar. The speed tells us we're going at dotted quatrains equals 66, so which is about this kind of speed. But we'll be wanting to count in quavers because that's going to help us with the semi-quaver rhythms going on afterwards, as well as letting us know which notes fall into which beat. So this is the speed we'll be aiming for. Now looking at the instruction for play, also tells us we're in grazioso, so we need to play this gracefully, following the articulation of the piece and also the dynamics of the piece as well. Looking at the key signature, we have a B flat, and as the title suggests, we are in F major. Now we do venture across to a minor key in bar 17 to bar 32, but we'll go and cross that later. With the F major, we have B flat, which is the same fingering for both the B flats we are playing. So we have thumb, first finger on left hand, and right hand, first finger and pinky. Now this piece and also the scale does go quite high past the C. So once you get past that, you need to push more air through a smaller embouchure, giving you a nice cleaner note. So two octaves for the grade 3 scale, F major. Now the fingering past the C is also quite different as well, so check those when you're playing the piece and both the scales. Now there's also a lot of arpeggio bits in this piece as well, so it's also a benefit to learn the arpeggio before you start learning the piece. So again, 2 octaves for grade 3. Now this piece is in ABAC form, where the A and the B section are based off quavers, and then the C section has semi-quavers in the rhythm. Now we first hear the A section in bar 1 to 16, with 2 very similar phrases. Then from bar 17 until bar 32 is our B section. Now this is in the minor key, and we are now mostly going to be doing staccatos. Then bar 33 to bar 48 is our A section again. Now it's exactly the same note for note as bar 1 to 16, so I won't play that again. Then from bar 49 to bar 62 is our C section, which again is made up of 2 very similar phrases. Then after that comes our ending phrase, which the rhythm is based on the C section, but it ends quite differently, and it's going up instead of going down compared to the C section. Now let's have a look into the technical aspects of the piece. Let's have a look at the first phrase. So that was bar 1 to 8. Now the rhythm itself isn't difficult, it is just quavers and dotted crotchets, so it's very straightforward. The thing to look out for in this piece in general is the articulation. You have slurs, you have staccatos, you have accents, you have staccatissimos, so we really need to look out for those and how they change and how we express those. Now written at the bottom of the page, we see that it says the wedges imply a gentle lifted articulation rather than a staccatismo. Now, normally staccatismos are even shorter and bouncier than staccatos, but we need to do it gently lift to fit in with the grazioso instructions we were given at the instructions of play next to the speed. Now we are going to lift. So we're going to tail off the air a bit compared to the staccatos, where it's very harsh. So we start off with piano. Written next to it is el cresce un poco, which means crescendo a little bit. So we're only going to go maybe to an MP, and then we're going to dip back when we get to the second phrase, starting again with piano, but then we're going to crescendo into an MF, and then we're going to crescendo again until we get to bar 16 where we get SF. Now SF means subito forte, so we're suddenly loud on that note. Now the notes are very similar from the second phrase to the first phrase, except for the ending notes. So here is the second phrase. Now the next section is where we move into a minor key in bar 17 to bar 32. The first phrase is pretty straightforward. We're starting off with a piano, crescendoing twice, once on bar 19 and then once on bar 21. A couple of things to be careful of is we're not playing B flat anymore in this phrase, we're playing B natural. We have a D flat on bar 21, and then in bar 22 we have a G octave jump and then jumping back up to an F. So we need to just be careful that you're staying in the right octave. The second phrase is similar to the first phrase at the start, but we end slightly differently. We have a G sharp now in bar 29, as well as the slur, so we need to be careful of the tonguing. Just staying in piano, this time no crescendos. Now for the next 16 bars, we are going to play exactly as what we had in bar 1 to 16 as the A section has come back. Then on bar 49 we are starting our C section, where we're introduced to semiquavers. We fit two semiquavers into a quaver. So the rhythm for bar 49 is this 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. We're holding on the crotchet after two semiquavers. We're starting off with pianissimo, so very quiet, and then on bar 54, bar 53 to 54, we're doing a crescendo into a forte in bar 55. Now we're going to start off the second phrase exactly the same as we did with the first phrase, except that now we are in forte. Now the notes after that is different, but that's the only difference in the second phrase of the C section. And this is going to lead us directly into the ending phrase. Now you can hear, even though the rhythm is quite similar to the C section, it gives a different feel because it goes up the music instead of going down. Now the first difference in rhythm comes in bar 67, where we have two semiquavers and then two quavers. So the rhythm becomes 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and again 1 2 3 1 2 3. So we swap the crotchets on that last one into two staccato quavers. And then we have the same quavers, and then we're now back onto P again with a little crescendo up until bar 71, which is a forte. And the bar before that you have a slurred 6 semiquavers going through. And then on bar 71 to bar 72 to 73 are the arpeggio scale. And after that high note, we're going to jump down to the bottom note. Now, remember the fingering on the high F is that we don't have the middle finger on our left hand, but we do on the low note. Couple things to look out for here is first the rest. You want to do 1, 2, rest, 1, 2, rest. And then on the last note, because we have a fermenter on the top of the note, we can extend this to 6 quavers. So we can extend the last note extension for a bit longer. That was the end of the piece. Well, that was the tutorial of the A2 piece study in F from 30 Easy and Progressive Studies for the Flute by Giuseppe Gariboldi. Now this piece really signifies the importance of scales, so once you get the scales, then the notes shouldn't be a problem. This rhythm is very simple. There's only quavers, some semiquavers and dotted crotchets, so it's very straightforward. The thing to really look out for in this piece are your articulation and your dynamics. You really need to separate out your staccatissimos, in this case which are just gentle lifts, and also your staccatos, which in this case are jumps. Now, also a couple of things to look out for is the octaves jumps. You've got quite a few in this piece. But other than that, this piece is a good solid choice as well. Hopefully that was useful to you. I'll be putting up the rest of the pieces soon for grade 3. Give a like and subscribe if you like what I did here. Put a comment down below if you want me to go over anything specific, or you've got your own tips and tricks share with other viewers, or you've got your own opinions about the piece as well. And I'll see you next time in the next video of Master of None. Bye!